The China lost 38 PLA soldiers during the fatal 2020 Galwan Valley clash with Indian Army. This number is quite high to the official claim of Chinese media and Chinese government, which has taken the number to only 4. This new number has been given by a report which has come in the Australian website Klaxon. We must also remember that last year Russian news agency TASS has reported that 45 Chinese soldiers have died during the Galwan Valley clash. Indian side has admitted that 20 Indian soldiers have died. Their names were made public and they were honored also. This speaks about the democratic setup of Indian side. And it also reflects, lowering down the number also reflects how a communist regime works. So how did this number come up? The Klaxon website has said it has worked a year long on this project and has come out on a report called Galwan Decoded. It made a team of social media researchers. The social media researchers started digging up the posts made by the Chinese bloggers, reports which were circulated in the social media and also on the Weibo chat. For most of the Indians who do not know what is a Weibo, Weibo is similar to WhatsApp, which is being used in most parts of the world. But it is not used in China. In China, they use Weibo. So they relied on this information and they started checking and cross-checking the facts made by these reports which were circulated in the social media. So what were the major findings of this report? The major finding of the report is that in June, the scuffle started over a bridge which was being made by Indian Army over a Galwan river. The Chinese side was standing next to them. There was a buffer zone also. The report said the Chinese was also making an infrastructure in this site and also near the buffer zone. As per the report, on June 6, 2020, 80 PLA soldiers came to the Indian site and asked them to dismantle the bridge. They were confronted by 100 Indian Army personnel who came to defend the bridge. In the early stage of an agreement, both sides agree they will return to their earlier position. That means they will return back from the buffer zone so that peace remains in the area. However, it did not happen. The reason being PLA did not adhere to the mutually agreeable agreement. And they came down to dismantle the bridge. On hearing this, the Colonel Santosh Babu reached the site of the dispute and confronted the Chinese personnel. The Chinese side, led by Colonel Q, also came in a confrontational mode and asked his men to form a battalion formation. He entered into the scuffle with Indian Army personnel and started attacking them. He was encircled by the Indian Army personnel. 2 PLA soldiers who were watching these events came to the aid of their colonel and the skirmish started. There was a heavy fight between both sides. The Chinese started using bricks, stones, steel pipes laced with barbed wires. And there was heavy retaliation by the Indian side also. One of the PLA soldiers was recording the event, but later he also came into the confrontation. He was heavily attacked by the Indian Army personnel and later succumbed to the injuries. After some time, the PLAs decided to retreat, but it was a pitch dark. They didn't have the time to wear water pants, so they decided to swim through the Galwan river. As per the report, the river rose suddenly and they started getting washed downstream. And the number as per the report is 38. And we must also remember the Indian Army General has reported that the Chinese side suffer much higher than their official number. So 2 reports have suggested the number of fatalities suffered by the Chinese side is about 40, and it speaks about the heavy retaliation they suffered from the Indian Army.